Hello and welcome to my Smile movie review. Smile is a film from 2022 directed by Parker Finn. As you can see, I'm smiling the whole time, just like the scary, horrifying characters in this movie. But in all reality, let's jump right into the review. I don't know what episode of the Spooky Cast we are on, but it is the Spooky Cast. Let's talk about Smile, because man, this is a bad movie. So automatically, I went into this movie really not expecting much. I knew it wouldn't be very good. I wasn't expecting a masterpiece or anything. Just strictly based off the concept of the movie, I hadn't seen anything about it. I hadn't really heard anything about it, other than the monster that shows up at the end of the movie. And to my complete and utter dismay, this movie was exactly what I thought, that being a bad, generic, forgettable horror movie. This reminded me a lot of PG-13 horror movies, like I think it's called Death Count or Death Day or something like that, the app on their phone, where it feels very made for teenagers, to exploit teenagers, I should say, a lot like the Terrifier movies, so that they could sneak into theater and go, that was so good, and this movie is not so good. Smile follows a psychiatric aide, or a psychiatrist, I should say, who is possessed with a demon that makes people smile and eventually kills her, or just because. There isn't really a reason given, and I think that's okay. But with the way the movie goes, I was kind of expecting the whole time the generic 150 years ago, the demon of Zolog took over. I was expecting something and it just never came, which is, again, by no means a problem. So the biggest problem with this movie is it's not scary. This movie is rated R. It has every opportunity to get as disgusting and gory as it wants, and it never does anything with it. It, at the start, kills one lady in a particularly nasty way, and then does, again, almost nothing with that disgusting aspect past that moment. Not only that, but the movie seriously flounders its already weak premise. It never takes advantage of the smiling thing. There's never a scene where she thinks someone's smiling at her, but it's just a normal dude, and she has like a freak out. It's always the demon that no one else can see that never feels like a real threat, which is a shame, because I think there is a way to turn this movie into an enjoyable product, but it just never becomes one. A lot of the characters also feel very shallow, and you just never really care about them. A lot of the character decisions are straight up stupid. For example, the main girl, whose name is Rose, I want to say, her spouse or fiance or whatever you want to call him, they're engaged, Trevor, does literally nothing in this movie. He has like 2 arguments with her, and then he disappears. He literally does nothing after that. Completely pointless character. A lot like the psychiatrist, she has 2 scenes, she doesn't do anything, and then she disappears. She is the setup for a poor jump scare and reveal, but besides that, she is literally pointless to the story. The monster that they show at the end of the movie, which is actually the only thing that I had seen from this movie, is not shown nearly as much as it probably should have been. The idea of someone smiling at you just isn't scary. I know the whole point is that it's an unnerving, scary smile, but it never feels like it earns that unnerving nature. There's never a scene where someone just smiles at her for like an hour outside of her apartment or anything, or her house. It just happens. Another problem with this movie is that it happens in such a boring location and to such a boring character that it doesn't feel special in any way. And I guess that's kind of the point, and that's one of the only reasons I'm excited for Smile 2, because happening to an internationally famous singer is a lot more interesting than just a random emergency psychiatrist. It's just not very interesting. There are some passable things about this movie. The score, for one, I think is unique, and even if it isn't used well all the time, it's still okay, and I appreciate it for being okay. The set design and lighting is pretty good. Even if a lot of the sets look very not of earthly nature, they don't look very natural. They feel very much like a studio set. It adds, even if an accidental, unnerving feeling and just aura and aspect to the film, which I do appreciate. There isn't much more to say about Smile. I mean, it's not scary. A lot of his jump scare horror. None of the characters are sympathetic. None of them are. You never really sympathize with any of the characters. A lot of them just feel like, you're supposed to like her because she's the main character, and you're supposed to not like him because he's acting evil. And you're not supposed to like him, but you're actually supposed to like him because he's helping. It feels very 2D. It feels like on a list it was just like, we need one secondary character, we need 3 more tertiary characters, and we need 2 more secondary characters. It just feels very shallow. Nothing goes anywhere in this movie. Nothing's really followed up on. I was expecting the house or the mother to have a bit more of an impact on the film. I thought this whole movie was going to be an overarching trauma thing, and it doesn't even do that right. It feels incredibly surface level, and it feels like it was literally just made for you to go, oh, look how scary that smile is. It's just so boring. I can't stand how boring this movie is. For a lot of it, if I was watching this in a bed, I would have fallen asleep. And on the couch, I was even almost falling asleep. I'm sure you can see it in my eyes and in my voice and in my mannerisms and stuff. I'm just tired. It was so boring. I'm just like, I'm pooped. But I really don't have much more to say about the movie. I gave it a 4 out of 10. That's not an 8. A 4 out of 10. I don't recommend you watch it if you want to watch some not scary schlock. If you want to just put this on during a Halloween party, there are definitely worse choices. I hope the second one's good. I'm going to go watch that in pretty much exactly an hour. Again, I'm a lot more hopeful for that one, but we'll see. But with that all out of the way, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you